What's going on, guys? Mike Wang put out another tweet today that's very, very interesting. But first, let's review the tweets from yesterday just so we're all up to speed, and then we'll get into today's tweets. Let's try to get this video to over 1,000 likes, and I will stream for you guys tonight. First thing, he says, Mike, please tell me something has been done about good wide open shot percentage. I feel like I have more success with slightly late and early releases, and I have a problem across all game modes. Mike talks about the shooting algorithm and how it's changed. He says shot contest detection more sensible now, bigger bonuses and bigger penalties for open versus contested shots, as well as good and bad timing. Excellent window is smaller but gives a bigger boost. An example, shooting will be more skill based. Now this is something that we've all been asking for, because this year it's like you could just shoot any shot and it doesn't matter. You can still get a green, and you know, it'll still go in even if it's a bad, quote unquote bad shot, right? You're contested, it'll still go in. So this is something we want, not only the, you know, for it to matter your shot IQ, but obviously the bigger reward for a smaller green window will make it so shooting is more skill based and the better players will you know, have an advantage. Next, will contested shots still go in at an alarming rate like in 2K18? Can you still get a green even when you are smothered? Mike says no, you can't get a green heavily contested or smothered shots. It's not a guaranteed miss, but they won't fall nearly as much. I think this is good. I mean, it rewards good defense. This year, good defense was not rewarded, and that really lowered the skill gap of the game. You know, you got to have the shot IQ and the skill to time your shot, not just shoot from anywhere and hope it goes in. Next, pump fake draw fouls have been reworked, much more reliable now. For those keeping track, takeover boosts will probably be closer to +10 for primary ratings and +5 for other ratings. This dude says, how about those body blocks when a defender jumps and landed on opponents and being credited for blocks? Are they fixed? Mike says our blocking engineer spent some time trying to fix this specific issue. It's much better now. If the ball handler shoots when the blocker jumps in the air, it's a guaranteed shooting foul. So this is more realistic, right? If you're playing basketball in real life and somebody's in the air, you just jump into them, you get the foul. So that will be in the game. Hopefully it's just not overpowered and cheesy, but I think it's a good feature. Next, how about the actual foul system? What about the late calling fouls? It was terrible in 2K18. Can you actually speak on that, please? Mike says we don't call fouls after the shot has left the hands anymore. That fixed a lot of the bad calls. We're also more lenient on block attempts from behind, so not an automatic whistle like it was last year trying to get chase down blocks. So that's good. There's a lot of like quote unquote soft fouls being called in 2K18, but I think it's just the way, again, the game was engineered, or whatever you want to call it. So that's good that they took that issue out. New dribble fatigue model in 19. If you over dribble, your ball control will drop and your moves will degrade in speed and effectiveness. So spamming too many moves will drop your dribble tier and eventually cause you to fumble the ball. Need to be efficient with the ball this year. Now, the thing about this tweet is, like, they kind of tweeted this very similarly before 2K18, if I remember correctly. So I don't know how much you can really bank on this one, but dribbling should be a little different, according to Mike Wang. Which isn't necessarily a bad or a good thing. We'll have to wait and see. I know some dribble gods out there are concerned, but you'll be all right. One more dribbling note: when branching out of hop gathers, an example, step back jumpers, only tier 3 ball handlers can explode out like last year. Tier 2 will be slower but controlled. Tier 1 will always fumble. Now think about this. Centers are tier 1, and the way these centers, including myself, go and cook up and all times using the hop gathers and the hop steps. Now, if we're gonna fumble the ball every time we try to go out of that, that's gonna eliminate center dribble gods, which is a good thing. Centers should be required to play like an actual center and not be out here playing like a 7-3 point guard. So that's a good thing. Are you able to force a ball handler to pick up their dribble? It was not in 2K18 from what I've seen. Yes, the frequency is based on the dribbler's ball control versus defender's on-ball defensive rating, as well as positioning. It will happen more if you cut the dribbler off and jam up where he's trying to go. Locks can do it easier than other builds, especially in takeover. So this means, you know, if you're a very, very good defender and you're playing good D and you have a lockdown build and somebody's really trying to like rim run you and you cut them off, not only will they not be able to just get a blow by like last year, it's going to force them to pick up their dribble. It's going to force them, they're going to have to try to pass out of it. Maybe even when you jam them up, maybe it goes into a jump ball sometimes. Who knows, So I think that's a good feature. Will you fix the 3 in the key timer in Pro-Am? Athletics camp in the paint for 5 seconds before it's called, giving them easy dunks and layups. And he just responds with, we reduced it, which is good because that people just stand in the paint, hold B with a pure athletic, catch the ball, dunk it. It's literally the worst thing ever. That would never work in a real basketball game. This is the one from today, okay? So now we are up to speed. He tweeted this a little while ago. What should have more influence over whether you make or miss shots? Open versus contested or good versus bad timing? Reply with some ratios if you want. Example, openness 50, timing 50. Now, I voted shot timing, but you have to understand this. They already told us heavily contested shots are not going in like last year. So by voting openness, like 55% of you did, you're basically saying if you're open, no matter the release, it should go in. I don't agree with that. Even on an open shot, you should have to time it. Now, some people are saying, oh, by saying shot timing, that means even if you shoot heavily contested, but you time it right, you want it to go in. No. They already told us heavily contested, smothered shots ain't going in like that this year. So what I'm talking about is open shots. You should still have to time to go in, which agent says here. He says timing. He already clarified contested shots are not hitting in 19. Timing equals skill gap. He also says you got to separate my team and Play Now guys who might prefer openness from Park, Pro-Am, my career guys would vote shot timing in a landslide. And I agree. They already told us contested shots aren't going in. So it has to come down to timing, otherwise it's not skill-based. iPod King Carter chimes in with, I had to vote shot timing. Even if you shoot wide open shots, shouldn't be guaranteed, just like in the NBA. Timing in a video game should be the main factor, but being open with perfect timing should be automatic, and perfect timing while being contested should matter if elite shooter. Agent says, iPod coming in with common sense, thank you. iPod comes back with, agent, people will say they know 2K and are true shooters, but will get the logic wrong every time. And agent says, Mike added the player shooting percentage for players who don't care to master timing. There needs to be something to master. Now, I agree because I want the game to be skill-based. As a skillful player, obviously we want it to be skill-based so that, we have an advantage on everyone else. I understand the more casual people, if you're open, no matter the release, you want it to go in. But in terms of being a competitive game and a skill-based game, that can't be the case. You have to master your jump shot timing, even if you're wide open. And I agree, if you're wide open and you're a sharp and you release it perfect, you should never be getting a good wide open white and miss. If you're a pure shooter, wide open, perfect shot timing should be green every time. Let me know what you guys think down below.